Well, the party lost a member, and now they're going to continue on with their expedition. They are probably going to be entering the jungle in this episode. I'm Tristan. This is Heroes in Homebrew. They need to keep moving. Regardless of the tragedy that befell them, they have a goal. They need to find this lost city. They need to make it all worth it. So, let's roll to see if they get lost. They don't get lost. At least there's that. At least they haven't gotten lost. Also, they are looking to try and find a town. So, on a 1, I'm going to say this close to the jungle, there might be a settlement. Whether or not the settlement's friendly to them, we'll see. But I'm going to say on a 1 or a 2, this close, there's a town. On a 1, perfect. I rolled a 1. There is a town. So, I'm going to mark that. There's a town there. Cool. All right, so the party manages to find this town. It's a place for them to settle up. They can maybe buy some supplies, buy some food at the market that they can take with them. As they explore around, I'm going to do a reaction roll of the people who live there to them. 6, 9. That's pretty positive. Unless I'm completely mistaken, that is a pretty positive reaction. 9 positive, yeah. So people welcome them. They don't distrust them or anything like that. Happily sell them some supplies, which I'll take care of in the downtime. And because after looting the body of their dead friend, they've got 13 extra rations that they can split between them as well. So that helps. However, because they've found a town, this is going to allow them to bring the gold back to this town, and it'll allow them to gain the XP. So they are also going to gain the XP from the gold that they've gotten off the body of their dead friend, unfortunately. But I will deal with that later. They each got 18 gold off of the elf's body, and a few silver, which wasn't a big deal. All right, so that is going to be that day. And I think they're going to stop there for the day. Even though they can move more hexes, they can move 1 more hex, I think. They can stop there for the day. I'm going to mark this off. Days of travel, boom. They don't need to use any rations because they got rations from food, nice, well-cooked food from the town, people of the town. And they discovered, I spelled discovered wrong, but that's okay. Discovered town on the edge of jungle. It's not really on, yeah, it's a bit on the edge of the jungle. There's a jungle hex right there. All right, so they spend the day there, sleep, get some good sleep, and then the next morning they are going to continue on. Actually, you know what? We are going to ask, do they get any information on the location of the lost city? Again, green, yes, brown, no, whichever's higher. Oh. 1s. Both of them were 1. So I'm going to say that's a no. They don't get any information. They ask around to tell the townsfolk that that's what they're looking for, and maybe the townsfolk are a little cagey. Like they don't want to confirm that they know where this place is. Maybe some of the rumors that they've heard maybe some of the tales are a little too out there to be real. Whatever the case may be, they don't get any additional information to help them. So that next day they leave the town. They're going to get lost on a 1. So 6, they are not lost. First hex. Oops. Why aren't you moving? There we go. First hex. Do they discover anything in this hex? They do not. Next hex. They discover anything here? They do not. And then I'm going to move into this hex. It's going to be their last hex of the day. Discoveries. No discoveries. And is there a random encounter? No random encounter. Good. So they're right on the edge of the jungle. So going through this jungle, it is both difficult terrain just because of the jungle, and also depending on the hex they go to, if they decide to go to this hex, it is just going to be, movement is going to cost them 2. Because if we go to, so I'm going to count the jungles as woods. So traveling through this hex would cost them 2 hexes. It means they can only do 1. And they'd be able to travel through, excuse me, and get to this hex. If they were to go this way, there'd be mountains, and they'd only be able to do that 1 hex. They wouldn't be able to move to another hex. The next day, going into the jungle, I think that they have to go through here just to make make as much time as possible. So they're going to move into the jungle. They're getting pretty close to the rumored location of that lost city. You see, the lost city is that black thing here. You're getting pretty close to their objective. Well, they get lost. They do not get lost. Let's move them into that hex. Do they find anything in that hex? They do not. Okay, so they can move through this hex. The heat and just wetness, humidity of the jungle is getting to them, and they can move into. Actually, they can't move into that hex because that is both mountain and there's a river. So we're going to say they have to stop at this hex. Let's roll for an encounter. Another random encounter. They are not having a good time with these night after nights. Let me see what the white box book says. I want to see maybe if the white box has the actual jungle. They do. Okay. I'm going to use the white box one because they actually have jungle as a terrain. Let's roll a d10 here. 4 animal. It's a bit better for them. And a 6. 2. Giant snake. All right, cool. This is I can get down with this. I can get down with a giant snake. The fun thing, however, if I remember correctly, is white box doesn't have a giant snake creature in it. Which is weird. They put it in the list, but it's not in here. Yeah, no snake. So let's say... Actually, we're going to use basic fantasy for this. Alright, so we have basic fantasy role-playing game. This is the core book. This is the 3rd edition, not the 4th edition that's currently available. Giant rattlesnake. So it's not going to be poisonous. I'm just going to use the... We're going to erase the poison. And it's just going to be a giant snake. Probably with some kind of Python-like abilities. We're going man to man. So, because the rattlesnake has a bite, I'm going to call that like a Dagger. These are man-to-man tables. Man-to-man. Now there are other options to the man-to-man table because you can do the differences in weapon class, first strike, counterblow. But for now, we're going to keep it simple. Surprise. Green is party. Are they going to be surprised on 1? They are not surprised. I heard it coming or saw it slithering through the... the snake is surprised. So I think they're going to take it. I think they're going to combat. They're going to fight this snake. It's surprised, so it doesn't get an attack this round. Let's get our sheet out. The cleric, our remaining magic user is going to stand back. And I think all of these guys are going to attack this snake. I'm going to say the snake itself, plus we have the 2 fighters who, did I mark down what they are? I don't think I did. I'll say the fighters are very basic. I'll say the fighters attack as, defend as Lightfoot. They're going to be Lightfoot. Attack as Lightfoot, defend as Lightfoot. There we go. So there's the 2 fighters plus other fighters plus the cleric who's going to stand off to the side as well. So I think we have enough guys to take this down. So 2 HD, 4 hit points for this thing. It is surprised, so our party automatically goes first. We're going to say the snake is... Yeah, I'm going to say it defends as Lightfoot. And its attack, I'm going to say is... I'm going to say it's equivalent of a hand axe club, like this. There. Okay, so... First up, our party is just going to swarm this thing and start hacking away at it. So, Blakey is going to make an attack. She's going to roll 2d6 because we're on the man-to-man combat. 2d6. She attacks with a hand axe. And the snake has no armor, so a hand axe needs a 7 to hit. That's critical. Guys, I rolled 2 6s there. And let's go to this. There is a rule. I think it does double damage. If I'm not mistaken, 2 6s does double damage. I'm going to check that. I'll be back. Okay. So, in the Bandits Keep OD&D using chainmail rules, 2 double 6s on the man-to-man does max damage. That's 6 points of damage. And we said that the snake had, was it 3 hit points? Or 4 hit points? So it's dead. She just drives her sword into its head. And they are going to get 100 XP for that. Make a note. 100 XP for snake. That was quick. That was easy. Nobody got hurt. And that is the end of that day. So we are going to mark it down on the sheet. All right, and 1 day's rations, 1 day of travel. That's it. Not super exciting, but they're in the jungle now. They can start bashing their way through the woods and hopefully find this lost city. So thanks for watching. That was pretty fun. They've found a town now that they can bring their gold to after they find this lost city, assuming they all survive. They managed to get into the jungle. They killed a giant snake with 1 shot. It was excellent. And now they're ready to make their way further into the jungle and hopefully survive this expedition. Join us next time. Save a seat for me at your table.